Peace, good peoples. It's your boy, man, Elmar the Star, Lamar Lewis, intellectual gangster, spiritual goon. What's happening with you? This is my first time doing this. I don't know what to expect. And I'm doing this by popular demand. And I'm kind of just going off the top. I'm leaving class. So forgive me if it's not really as cohesive as one would like. I could do something a little more cohesive, but really this is just a test to make sure I'm doing this correctly. So real quick, I just wanted to talk briefly, man, about kind of what to expect from me and this channel in the near future. Basically, man, what we're going to be doing is dropping science, dropping knowledge. I read a lot. So a lot of the stuff I read, I really just want to kind of give like a critical analysis of what's taking place in the world, and then kind of getting y'all's feedback. We're going to talk about all kinds of different things, whether it be stuff dealing with race, with sexuality and gender, with politics, with income inequality, just all kinds of different topics that are really just, a matter of a conversation really for the oppressed, the marginalized, people of society. That's who I represent. That's who I speak for. So that's what these conversations are going to be about. There's one topic, man, that really we talked about today in class that was just crazy. We talked about HIV rates in African American women, and we discussed the reasons why. And what's the first thing you think about when you hear about young African American women between the ages of 18 to 24? Why are these young ladies, why is this segment of the population getting HIV at such a rapid rate? And first thing people say always, or one of the first things they say, is the down low, right? Black men sleeping with other black men, but not being honest about their sexuality and passing HIV to women. And that is a portion of it, right? But what's a more significant portion? Real life questions, right? So a significant portion of this population, think. Let's look at parallels, right? Ages 18 to 24, black men, what's happening at the same rate or a similar rate? Give up. They going to jail. New Jim Crow. They going to jail, either becoming victims of sexual assault and rape or perpetrating sexual assault and rape. Right? We just, if you don't know, most new cases of AIDS are men who have sex with men. Right? So here we go. Let's do a correlation. Higher rates of black men going to jail. Higher rates of African American women coming back with HIV. And cognitively, if you don't think what you're doing is rape or don't think what you're doing is wrong, right? Like you're not gay because you're not the one being perpetrated upon, then of course they in jail, these guys in jail, things we all know. We ain't got to get all into it. You know what I'm saying? You got a cousin, an uncle, a brother, a homeboy, somebody in jail. You know how the game go. We ain't got to get all into it. All right. But this is what's happening. Also, what we refuse to look at is poverty. Access to care, access to education about appropriate sex practices that can minimize the passing of certain diseases and things like that. We don't think about first of all, how poor our sexual education is, and then how poverty impacts that even more. So I want y'all to think about that as we get, more into these conversations, as I figure out ways to be a little more interactive with the people. But as a conversation I want y'all to think about, I want y'all to comment either below when I put it on Facebook, comment on Facebook, and we can have kind of a dialogue until I kind of figure out this whole Facebook Live thing or whatever. And disregard that shadow. My head is not really that big. It's this light on my camera. I just want y'all to know that I'm not this big head dude. It's like, you see how big make my head look? My head is not that big, y'all. I got a big head, but it ain't that big. But anyway, back to more serious conversations. So yeah, just something to think about. Why are African American women young African-American women between the ages of 18 to 24 getting hit with higher HIV rates. There's also a theory out there, a biological, kind of socio-biological theory that states that because our ancestors, black people's ancestors, did not get inflicted with the bubonic plague, y'all know the black plague way back, and didn't survive that we are more susceptible to certain diseases based upon the fact that our ancestors did not become infected with the bubonic plague. That's stupid, by the way, but this is a theory. And the reason I say it's stupid is because we went through something called the Middle Passage. And those of us who are still here, our ancestors survived all of that, survived slavery and Jim Crow and all that good stuff, and we're here. Now, an alternative theory to that is that trauma is starting to show, a study is starting to show that trauma impacts DNA. So that could be a reason. But none of that stuff holds water. Institutionalized racism, poverty, brothers going to jail, all these things are factors. And, of course, obviously the down low phenomena that is still taking place. Or phenomenon, still taking place. But, I mean, you know, that goes into a whole nother realm. We'll talk about probably on another video. But this is just me, like I said, just kind of giving a test and just giving some thoughts about what I'm thinking about right now, based on me just leaving class. I promised some people I would really, you know, get on top of doing videos and stuff like that. So I'm going to try to see if this works well. If it does, and I get good feedback and people want to have conversations, I'll continue to find ways to work it out. Also, the College of Polish podcast is coming soon once I figure that out. I'm letting y'all know my deficiencies, man, but I'm working on it. We're in the age of the internet, the age of YouTube University. I'm sure I can figure it out. I'm not a stupid person. So with that being said, good peoples, I'm out. Think about what we just talked about. Think about some stuff you want to chop it up with me about. Hey, man, I'm just a learner. I'm just trying to figure it out, man. The more I learn, the less I know. So, you know, we all on this journey together. I'm just trying to do the right thing, man. Take care of the people. Hold it down. Till then, let's get it.